Honestly, what can I say about The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past that hasn't been said a billion times before? It really is the best of the best. Really guys, seriously, this is my favorite video game of all time. And if you've never played this, like in my books, you just can't call yourself a gamer. It's that simple. Even if you hate action games, you hate the Super Nintendo or Nintendo in general, you still owe it to yourself to play this game. It really is that freaking good. So going back in time, I'm not gonna break down the game too much. I just want to take you back to when I was a lot younger, and I'll never forget that first moment when I stepped outside as Link of the house and it was raining. You heard thunder and lightning was flashing and the rain was like pouring down on everything. I remember just being absolutely floored, going, wow, the next generation has arrived. Because if you remember back to the NES, like, yeah, there were bushes and there were things like that, but a lot of The Legend of Zelda was left to your imagination. It wasn't like the Atari days where a bush would be, say, like a green block. In the original Legend of Zelda, it did have shape to it. It had texture to it. But here, it was like the world just felt so much more alive. Especially with that first impression with the rain coming down on everything, and like I say, you had that thunder off in the distance and the flash of lightning. I was just utterly floored, and it went from there. If you didn't press the start button, you had that really wickedly detailed story all about, you know, the Golden Land and the Sacred Realm and all this. I'm not gonna bother talking about it. You know this tale, believe me. But it was just the fact that you went from that intro into these incredible graphics, and that doesn't even mention the sound. The sound was breathtaking. This was leagues better than anything I had heard on the Sega Genesis or on the Master System or on the original NES. It was just, it almost sounded orchestrated. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And when you take these graphics, you take the sound effects, you take this powerful score, you wrap it around this epic story, and just that alone would have been enough to make this like one of the best video games of all time. But then you add in the incredible gameplay, the light and dark world mechanic where you can swap from one world to another, and you're exploring constantly both of these worlds or these lands. And like, let's say you're in Dark World and you find this little nook, you can take the magic mirror and teleports you back to Light World, and then suddenly you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even notice this whole section before. And you go around, you can find heart pieces, or maybe you'll even find a hidden weapon. And it was that sense of exploration that had never been matched before, or in my opinion, since. There have been some amazing games released, but none have really recaptured the same feelings that I got when I originally played this game back when it hit North American shores in early 1992. And this doesn't even mention all the incredible weapons and items that were available. You had returning classics like the boomerang and bombs and bow and arrows, but now you had secret weapons that you didn't even need to find to complete the game, such as the magic cape or the staff, like I forget what it was even called now, because I never use it, the staff that basically shoots a little ring of protection around you. And, you know, there was even the ice wand. I mean, for goodness sakes, this game was so crazy that years later, players would start challenging one another, saying like, okay, how many bosses can you defeat with the ice wand? But you could actually finish the entire game without ever even using the ice wand. And this all goes without even talking about the 8-way directions Link could finally move in, which made gameplay significantly easier than it ever was before. But you know what? It's when you take all of these things, when you put the gameplay, the tight controls, the amazing storyline, the fantastic graphics and audio, and you put that all together, it's really easy to see why this was such a milestone release upon its release. It really brought the gaming industry to this whole new level. And if you experienced it and it had the same impact on you as it did to me, then you know what this game is all about. But for anyone who didn't really experience it, if you were a Sega Genesis fan, you didn't want to buy a Super Nintendo, now's your chance. Go back, play this game, because it deserves to be played. In my opinion, this is as close to a perfect video game as you will ever get. It's just downright amazing. It's my personal favorite video game of all time, and I honestly think everyone really should experience this at least once. For a lot more information, be sure to check out the written review that I've posted on, you know it, projectcoe.com. Thank you very much for watching, and go play this amazing game.
Do